episode of Let's Talk Money with Friends. Wow, every Wednesday we have the privilege and the opportunity to come to you to speak and to share great ideas about money, life, and everything else. Because we know our money, I always say, encompasses everything. And today, money is one of those things that if you learn to be grateful, it seems like the more grateful you are, the more of it that you get. So today's topic is our gratitude matters. Why does it matter? Because it's everything. When you can learn to be grateful, everything will happen for you because like I say, that gratitude will beget so many opportunities for you. Today, of course, we all know tomorrow is Thanksgiving in the United States. And Thanksgiving is one of those holidays that really means a lot to me. I love it because I get to eat my favorite food and without having to worry about buying gifts. I just have to spend time with family and friends. And it's also a moment to reflect and a moment to give just thanks, just be grateful. So that's why I'm so happy and elated today that tonight that we have an opportunity to share this topic with you. Your gratitude matters. And we're going to dive into this conversation tonight with two of our friends. I have a new friend who's here with me tonight, and we have a returning friend. And the first friend, we want to give her an opportunity to introduce herself. Her name is Natalie Inozale. Hi, Natalie. How are you doing tonight? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Gabrielle. How are you?
Great. We just wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and let us know why you've decided to be part of the show tonight.
Hello, good evening. My name is Natalie Inozil. I'm a federal employee. I work for the Department of Veterans Affairs for over 9 years now. And when Gabrielle asked me, we're a member of the same church community and outside community. When she asked me to be on the show, I said yes, because of course, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. We do all our social gatherings around food, but for Thanksgiving, we're able to go around and share what we are grateful for. And it gives you a time to really reflect on where you are, where you're coming from, what you have. So it really gives you a chance to assess. And it helps you project too, because Thanksgiving's so close to the new year. So in terms of goal setting. So that's why I decided to say yes to Gabrielle.
Yes, thank you, Natalie, for being here tonight. And of course, our returning friend, Garrett. Garrett, why don't you just introduce yourself quickly since you've been here before?
Yes, I'm happy to be back here. My name is Garrett Victor, and I am a business coach for spiritual entrepreneurs. And I love what you said, Gabby, about money and gratitude. And that's definitely something that I work with my clients on, is to learn to have a better relationship with money and to really be in that spirit of appreciation and learning to be rewarded for the work and the service that they do, so that they can continue to do it with ease and grace. And so when I got your email about tonight's topic of gratitude, and that is something I really help people to tap into, and I really work with tapping into what I call true gratitude, not like feeling like you have to be grateful, right? But like tap into that place where you are genuinely grateful, like you genuinely appreciate what you have, independent of someone else's circumstance or whatever, because we are all here and we are all deserving of everything that we want and everything that we have. So it's about learning to truly be in deep appreciation for that. And I believe that starts with appreciation for self. For me, a lot of times I do, different events, and people would ask me all the time, what are you grateful for? And, my first response is always, I'm grateful for me.
Oh, great. Yes.
I just know the work that I've done on myself to be the person that I am as a motivator, as an inspirer, and I'm truly in gratitude, and I can just tap into that without needing an object or something external to make me feel grateful. So I definitely wanted to be a part of this conversation.
Yeah, I love that idea of being grateful for you, for yourself, and every single day being grateful for the fact that you do get to wake up and be your very best self if you've done the work. I know there are so many obstacles out there that life or society or the community will toward us. But if we learn to be grateful for ourselves, regardless of what's those external stimuli, I guess they are, you are able to continue to have joy. That's why I posted, be grateful always or have joy always, because there will be happenings. People will come. You know, today I went through a really tough morning, but at the end of the day, that is not going to take away my joy. That is not going to take away the fact that I am a very grateful person and I will continue to be grateful regardless of what's coming at me. So with that being said, I just want to say that, you know, why is it important to have that spirit of gratefulness, and how has that, or gratitude, and how has that added or could add, like what I just said, you know, the more grateful you are, the more money you can have in your pocket. So how has that, you know, being grateful added to your bottom line? Natalie.
I think that being grateful has always opened my heart to give, and being a intentional giver. I give my time, I give my resources. I feel like it always comes back to me tenfold. Yeah, I always feel like I lack for nothing. I always have the time or the resources to give to others, and in turn, when I'm in a pinch or in a bind, I feel like it always comes back to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense, because when your hands are open to give, they are also open to receive, right? And that's what we talked about, you know, when you've received so much. Earlier today, before we went live, we talked about, like, I saw something on social media, someone saying, like, I didn't have rich parents, I didn't have connections, I didn't have money, I made it on my own. What do you think about that mindset, Gerda? Because I think that's keep people from being grateful. And also, you know, yeah, what do you think about that mindset?
Yeah, well, first I want to say I love how you tied it up with, if you open to give, you also have to be open to receiving. I that it's so funny because I have a challenge that I'm doing called 12 days of receiving, because I feel like we're always conditioned to give, but the minute someone goes to offer you something, you're like, oh no, you don't have to do that. Or even someone gives you a compliment and you go, oh, this old thing, I just pulled it out. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yes.
to be in the spirit of gratitude, you have to be open, not just to give intentionally, as Natalie said, but also be open to receiving. That's what completes the cycle. Because as the giver, when you give someone something and they're like, oh, you don't have to, like, how does that make you feel, right? You were open-heartedly giving, and then now it kind of blocks it a little bit, right?
My mom says you're blocking the giver's blessings.
Exactly. No one benefits from that.
And in some cultures, do you find that it's harder than the others, because we were so conditioned to think, I don't need anything from anybody, I don't need anything from you. And that's
Yeah.
why it's so hard for people to realize that it does take a village to get
Exactly.
anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, what you were saying about, like, you know, people saying I did it by myself. That's why, because people don't really allow themselves to receive. So it's like, it doesn't even register to the brain that something has been gifted to you. Because a lot of
Oh,
time we just take things on, oh, okay, oh, you don't have to do that. But we weren't open to receiving it. So like your whole energy, your whole body didn't register that something was gifted to you and you received it. So you go on thinking, no one is ever there for me, no one ever gives me anything. Meanwhile, you pushing everything away unconsciously, and you're not even aware that you're doing that. And it's usually because that person is caught up in a web of their own stories, of their own struggle. They just have this belief and programming that I'm supposed to do it myself, or no one is ever there for me. So even when someone does show up, they don't even acknowledge that because they're so conditioned to feeling alone and feeling like they don't have anyone that's there for them.
Yeah, and people will reject anything, even a show like this where we are encouraging folks to like, share, and make comments so that they could share with their friends. And, to me, like I said, every Wednesday we come here because we know that the information is timely and relevant. And when I pick up the phone, I send an email to ladies like yourselves and also to the friends who've been on the show. I know they're coming to add value to the lives of the people who are watching, who are taking the time to watch and participate. But folks, I remember I was talking to someone recently, and they said that, well, I wish I had known about estate planning. I would have done it differently because they just lost a family member recently. And I'm like, oh, our show was done 3 months before that person passed away. I had shared that with you. What did you do with that? Like you said, they didn't even register. They had not even registered that something had been gifted to them. And also the normal thing to do, or the instantaneous thing to do if you are someone who's not able to open your hands, is to immediately reject anything that's being given to you, because you want to deny anything that's coming to you so that you can continue telling yourself that same story, the same narrative. No one has done anything for me. It's all been me. We were talking about it before we went offline. I know somebody in particularly that I've known for years, and I would hear that person saying, I did it all on my own. And I'm thinking, no, I remember doing that resume. I remember doing, referring that first job. And you talked about that, Natalie. Your niece is in college right now. And because you had a conversation with her and you said to her, listen, honey, I would like to refer you or connect you to a friend of mine who has a company. Did you talk to her about you gifting her that opportunity to meet with someone, that connection? And also, how are you expecting her to pay it forward?
Actually, I can go back even a little further. My niece is a freshman in undergrad, and I took her on most of her college tours. And I remember telling her, going to college, like first generation in this country, my parents didn't take the time. They didn't have the time to give me to take me to school, to different schools to see them. And we went to go see a school that was on the top of my list, and I absolutely hated it. And so did she. And I was like, to think, But then I remembered the counselor that I had, and that helped me with my essays and helped me with the college application process. And I reached out to her and I was like, thank you. Thank you for being that person for me. And I passed it on to my niece, because now she's going through the same process and I've been that resource. Thank you so much. You don't know how much you mean to me. And then in turn, I shared that story with Kay, and I even shared Kayla's story with my best friend. Kayla was looking for something to do during the school year, and my best friend was looking for an intern. And I connected the two. She interviewed for it, and everything kind of just worked out on its own. She is like doing such an amazing job and gaining so much experience. And it's like, I always tell her, like, I want my ceiling to be your floor. I'm passing the baton to you, but there's others behind you. Like, Kayla's the oldest of 9 nieces and nephews. So I'm like, you're opening doors for all of us for generations to come. Because I was able to do it thanks to Carlene. Now you're able to pay it forward to the rest of the kids.
Correct. And we talked about it earlier, Gerda. We said luck is opportunity, preparation that meets opportunity. So Kayla needed to have done something. She's in college, she's doing the work, she's getting prepared. But the fact that auntie is giving her an opportunity is gonna give her a pretty good chance of getting lucky. You know, we say luck, preparation, and opportunity meeting together. So why do you think so many people feel unlucky in life? And that's the reason why they're not grateful, because yes, they're prepared and the opportunities coming to them, but yet they're not realizing that opportunities are coming to them, or opportunities have come to them. That's why they're where they're at. And yet over and over again, they're saying, I'm so unlucky. Things have never been done for me. Again, explain that mindset, Gerda.
Oh man, it's just this is actually remind me a story when I used to work in community counseling. In my former life, I was a mental health counselor.
Oh, the mental health matters.
And I remember, so I'm going to tie this into paying it forward, because before I went into counseling, I was working in the holistic wellness field. So I learned a lot about mindset. I learned a lot about mindfulness and meditation, and learning to be grounded, learning to be present. So I learned a lot of tools from my mentors. And I remember I had a particular mentor. Before every call, she would start every call before we got into anything. She would start it with gratitude, really. She would say, what do you celebrate? Give me 3 things. And that's a tip for the viewers, honestly, to start the day. Like, what are 3 things you're celebrating? In the beginning, it was hard because it's like, what am I celebrating? What am I celebrating? But the more you do it, you start to find things. So fast forward, I have this job in a mental health clinic, and these people are coming in with like major anxiety, depression, all types of mental health issues. Now, coming from my clinical training, you start the session, how are you doing today? What brings you in today? And every time it would start with a list of, oh my God, this happened, this awful thing, and my mom did this, and my partner did this, and I was in traffic. And as the clinician, I was feeling all of that, and it was like, this is not working for me, because it was just literally like just dumping all the problems. And I think it's just people are so used to just venting without connecting and resolving and really separate themselves from the issue. They think they are the issue, and they're very enmeshed in it, so they can't see clearly. So I said, okay, I have to do something different here. So I remember what my mentor, who would start every session with asking, tell me 3 things you're celebrating today. I'm getting chills as I'm telling you this story, because I brought this into my clinical practice. So I was just like, I'm just going to flip it on them. They're going to come in and sit down. I'm not even going to say how you're doing, because I know what that opens up. And I would just say, okay, good to see you today. Tell me 3 things you're grateful for. And it was hard for them. And I was like, let's tap into the simple things. Did you walk here? So that means your legs are working. It's sunny today. Do you like the sunshine? Did you drive here? That means you have a car. Did you eat? Like simple things like that. So I had literally was retraining their brain to pay attention to what is actually working. When I tell you, I had a client who used to come in moping like this. He would come in now, he was whistling. And they were so excited. I'm still getting chills, because they would come in excited to tell me what they're celebrating.
Yeah, I like that, Gerda. It's just like a mindset training. And I talk about that all the time because, I'm very grateful for the life that I've had. And in my, 20s, I did a lot of traveling, going to different events and seminars to learn about mindset. How important it is to have the right mindset, because like you said, instead of conflict resolutions, people will dump their own issues on you. The problem becomes them. It's not a problem, it's them. They are the problem. And it's so amazing how, because your mindset, based on your mindset, you'll see enough information like this being shared. And your mindset could say, this here has value for me, or this doesn't have value for me. Next.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it had value for you, but you never took the time to receive that gift. Because again, your mindset is that nobody's ever gonna do anything for me. And unfortunately, in our subculture that we are part of, it's so prevalent. Nobody's ever gonna do anything for me. Nobody's interested in doing right by me. Nobody's ever gonna be truthful to me. If someone is truthful for me because they're lying, if someone
They
is
want something.
they want something, what's in it for her to want to do great, and we see that, Natalie, right, in the community where we work. We come in and trying to really help and support and give our hearts to these families because of the fact that we've been giving so much. To whom much is given, much is required, and we are both people of faith, and we know that. And what do we get? The pushback, right? Can you talk a little bit about that and how it's so difficult?
I mean, it be your own people sometimes that don't want to change their mindset. I think they're so stuck in the complaining, or everything's so bad, everything's so awful, poor me. You would think that they have like what is it, a rain, a dark cloud that goes over just their head, like only them. Whereas like there's so much sunshine outside, but you're not taking the time to open your eyes and experience it,
Someone who's like, nobody's ever gonna love me. It breaks my heart when I heard people that are close to me saying like, don't trust anybody because nobody cares for you. And I remember dealing with one particular family where this parent was adamant about her daughter not making any friends because none of those friends would bring any value. She kept saying, pounded it in her head, don't make any friends. I didn't send you to college to make any friends because none of them gonna care for you. And we know, based on the show we did, right, that network is so important. Go ahead, Natalie.
But that's coming from a deficit mindset, Correct.
Absolutely.
Once you change your mindset to plentiful, to receive, you will see your outlook will change, your perspective will change, and you'll be able to see resources that at first you didn't realize were resources,
Yeah.
And the people, especially the people who are in your life, those are your biggest resources, the most valuable resources that you have. The people who are in your life. But again, we are pushing away. We are projecting our own deficit mindset, and we are pushing away the very people who could be great asset for us. Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on about this. I mean, I wanted to give this, have this conversation about gratitude because I do know it's a mindset thing. And I know that, the happenings don't have to be happening the way you want them to be happening in order for you to be happy. You can make a concerted effort, like Gerda was saying. You make a concerted effort to see the light. It's beautiful today. I'm rejoicing today. I woke up and I didn't have to get help to take a shower. Your activities of daily living. If you are able to do those, you ought to be grateful. But of course, again, it's the holidays, it's Thanksgiving, and a lot of people are going to go out to celebrate, but we know not everybody's going to have that opportunity to celebrate because they don't have the resources or the environment to celebrate the way most of us are going to be celebrated with friends and family. So can we share quickly before we go off? What are some of your traditions? I know, Natalie, you mentioned how your family has taken the time to share, but what are some of your ways that you celebrate? Are you staying home, traveling, and also the cooking? I know we're talking about that offline. My dinner for us starts at 5 o'clock. Friends of mine who are American, they're like 5 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, because our food takes so much time for us to prepare them. So, what are some of your traditions, and how are you gonna celebrate this holiday?
You got that, Garrett?
Go ahead.
Sure. What are my, I don't really have traditions. I don't have a lot of my family here where I live in. I've gone to New York a couple of times, but now my family's convening in Atlanta, and I'm like, I'm not going down there.
I know.
So it's just probably gonna be me and my mom hanging out. I have a sister who lives nearby. Unfortunately, there's COVID at her house, so we won't be
Okay.
going there.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be really, really low key. And one thing I will add to what you're saying about plugging into resources and moving away from that lack mindset is you got to learn to trust yourself. It's like if you can tap into your intuition, you kind of know. You kind of know, right? Like who to stay away from and what situations to avoid. But if you're avoiding everything out of fear, you're never gonna know, and you're never gonna learn to trust yourself. So that's it.
Yeah, fear. And the resources are everywhere. So what else you doing this holiday season or today, tomorrow? What
Oh,
are you
the whole
doing,
rest of
Natalie?
the season?
No, Natalie, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
We are getting together after taking a hiatus last year.
Yes.
Hopefully we can do it safely. I will be sending a text message to ensure if you show any signs or symptoms, please stay home. However, the kids wanted to do it. I mean, I was tired. I usually host it, and I was like, not this year. My home is too small for our family is big. I have there's 5 of us kids. My parents have 5 of us, and I have 9 nieces and nephews, in addition to spouses and significant others. It gets really crowded really quickly. So I was just like, we got to do it somewhere else. In addition to, we got to do it safely. So masks, hand sanitizers, the whole 9 yard. But the kids haven't seen their cousins in so long. Bella and Isaac was just like, but we want to do Thanksgiving. So my sister and myself kind of just like gave in, and we're doing Thanksgiving for them. And we of course do it later. Later. We said 4, but we know everyone will show up at 5. Between baking and turkeys and hams and a whole /American /Haitian spread, we take turns going around and saying what we're grateful for this year. Even the kids participate, and then we eat and be merrily. We take the time to really like sit down and enjoy each other, and especially after this pandemic. And like I said, this is the first time we're doing it in 2 years, all intensive purposes. So like we're gonna take the time to really enjoy it. Everyone's vaccinated, so that helps, right? And the kids have at least gotten their first dose. So we're really looking forward to do it safely and stay healthy during this holiday season.
Yeah, stay healthy and stay grateful. So important to be grateful. I know, as I said earlier, that this is my favorite holiday. I've already gone out shopping for food, grocery shopping. I did that yesterday and today with my mom and my, other family members. We're gonna be cooking up a storm tomorrow and welcoming as many people as we can. My cousins and other people in my family always bring their friends because they know this is a place where you can come in and have plate. And, as a matter of fact, we welcome it. So if you are here watching and you're gonna do something, I know COVID and everything, but, welcome somebody that you know into the circle who's not family members, a family member, because I think it's so important because a lot of single people, folks without families in terms of like, nuclear families, they don't have children, they don't have a husband or a spouse, they need to, they're thankful too. They need to be loved. And if you are able, I know for me, I called somebody today and I'm like, where are you having dinner? Oh, I don't know, then come over because I'm gonna be preparing to come over and enjoy with us. So do that. Because to me, I like to give and also receive. So thank you so much. I'm receiving all the love and the compassion and all the commitment that all the members of the community of Let's Talk Money with Friends. So many names, I cannot remember everybody, so I'm not gonna try to list everybody and all the names, but I'm so grateful to all of you. Every time I pick up the phone or I send an email and say, who can help me this week? All of you, raise your hands and say, you know what, I'm able to help you, and I'm so grateful for that. So thank you, Miss Natalie, and thank you, Garrett, for being on tonight, and thank you for watching. Please share, like, and make a comment, because when you give to us, you are giving to yourself and you are giving to somebody else. Let's pay it forward. Thank you, and we'll see you next week for another great episode of Let's Talk Money with Friends. Thanks, ladies.
Bye.